Our movie opens with a group of armed people walking across a large farm, clearly ready for a fight. They keep advancing until they reach the farmhouse, planning to take it over by force. But what they don't expect is that the owner of the farm turns out to be a highly trained ninja. She eliminates every single one of them in seconds. Even the last guy who tries to escape doesn't get far. She immediately contacts a girl named Ryan and instructs her to take him out now, warning that his escape would bring others. Ryan confidently assures her she will drop him. She gets into position to snipe him from a distance. But then she's shocked to see Manny, one of the family members on the farm, chasing the intruder and tackling them to the ground. Manny is stunned when he realizes that the intruder he's pinning down is actually a young woman. He freezes for a moment. He hasn't been this close to a girl in years, and he's afraid he might have killed her. But she's still alive. Moments later, the farm owner arrives. She tells Manny she knows he doesn't like doing this, but they have no choice if they want to survive. She then orders him to finish the girl off and leaves. Manny looks at the injured girl one last time, internally lamenting that she is beautiful and doesn't deserve this, but he has to do it. She begs him not to kill her, but Manny doesn't listen. Without hesitation, he shoots her, ending her life. We learned that the farm owner is Danielle, and Manny is her eldest son from her first marriage. As for Rin, the girl who helped kill the intruders, she's the daughter of Danielle's current husband, though Danielle treats her like her own. So the family consists of Danielle, her husband, Manny, Rin, and the two daughters Danielle and her husband had together. They all live on this farm as one united family. Despite being a close and loving family, their life is anything but peaceful because they're living at the end of the world. Resources are disappearing, animals have gone extinct, and humanity has collapsed. With the death of all livestock, global disasters erupted, and humans split into two groups: cannibals, people who survive by eating human flesh, and those who hunt for farmland, hoping to take over any fertile land they can find. That's why the intruders tried to take Danielle's farm, and why she was brutal enough to kill them. Her land is huge, 40 acres, and if anyone discovers it, her entire family will be in danger. We also learned that Danielle and her family are African American survivors who moved to Canada to live in isolation and rely solely on farming. She's a former soldier, the one who trained her entire family to defend themselves, shoot, and survive. Her strict rules are the only reason they've been able to avoid starvation and cannibals this long. Later, we see Danielle's husband patrolling the outskirts of the property. He finds an overturned vehicle and scattered bullets, evidence of a fight, but he doesn't dwell on it. He collects the ammo and returns home, telling Danielle what he saw. He plans to return tomorrow to salvage the vehicle for parts, since anything mechanical could be useful to them. Danielle tells him things are getting worse. Cannibals are spreading everywhere. Just a few days ago, they slaughtered an entire family. She's terrified they'll eventually find their farm. Meanwhile, Manny is bathing in the river, enjoying his one peaceful moment of the day, until he notices something strange. A girl is swimming nearby. He immediately panics. Danielle warned him never to interact with strangers. Anyone who looks normal could easily be a cannibal, so Manny doesn't approach her. Instead, he quietly follows her without being noticed, until she reaches her camp. That's when Manny realizes there's a whole group of people living nearby. But unlike them, this group isn't isolated. Manny wants to approach the people he found near the river, but he remembers his mother's warnings, so he retreats and heads home. That night, he finds his family burning a spoiled crop. Angry and frustrated, he argues with his stepfather, lamenting that if they had listened to him and asked someone for help or pesticides, the harvest wouldn't have been ruined. He asks why they are acting like prisoners when there are people everywhere. Danielle snaps back at him, furious. She reminds him that the world out there is dangerous. She asks what exactly he is complaining about, pointing out that he lives safely in his home, with food on the table, while more than half of humanity died of starvation, and the rest are barely surviving. She's upset that Manny doesn't appreciate what they have. She storms off, leaving him silent. The next morning, Danielle sends her daughter Denise on her first mission, scouting a nearby area. Denise is excited and determined to prove herself. She discovers an abandoned building and decides to investigate. A decision that turns out to be the worst mistake she has ever made. Inside, she finds several bodies hanging upside down, drenched in blood. The sight is horrific, too graphic to even show. Denise freezes in shock, trembling. At that moment, Mani arrives and she runs into his arms, terrified. Their father soon joins them. Suddenly, a group of soldiers appears. Denise and the boys panic, but one soldier steps forward and reassures them that they are here to help, claiming they are on a mission to support local farmers and that agriculture is humanity's last hope. But Danielle's husband carefully questions them, and the soldiers accidentally reveal too much. He realizes they were the ones who massacred the family Danielle told him about. Without hesitation, he kills all of them. He turns to Manny and says that these weren't soldiers. They were butchers, and they were the ones behind those bodies. He warns Manny that there might be more of them around. Suddenly, a suspicious-looking woman appears out of nowhere and shoots Denise, then flees. Horrified, the father rushes to his daughter, carrying her back to the farm. Saving her is the only thing on his mind. Thanks to the harsh world they live in, the family has learned to treat injuries themselves. After a long struggle, Danielle manages to stop Denise's bleeding. She stays by her bedside all night, watching her condition. Manny is overwhelmed with guilt. He blames himself. If they hadn't gone scouting, Denise wouldn't have been shot. He goes outside alone to clear his head, wondering how much longer their lives can go on like this. Then he hears a noise. He cautiously checks and finds a girl standing alone behind the farm fence. She begs him desperately for help. Manny hesitates, torn between fear and compassion, but eventually decides to help her. The next morning, Danielle and her husband gather the kids and repeat their most important warning. Cannibals look just like us. They pretend to need help, but their intentions are evil. Never trust anyone. Manny listens, conflicted. He's tired of isolation. He wants to know the outside world. But his family keeps telling him everyone out there is a threat. Later, Danielle pulls him aside and says that she knows something is bothering him and that he wants to meet other people. But she insists that everything his stepfather and she do is to protect him and his siblings. She walks away, disappointed. Manny then goes to the girl he helped, and we discover he has been secretly hiding her on the farm, in a place Danielle almost never visits. But he's scared. What if his parents were right? What if she is a cannibal? To be safe, he ties her up. Suddenly, she tries to attack him and break free, but he calms her down, assuring her he wants to help and is not there to hurt her. He tells her he is going to remove the gag, but warns her not to scream. If she does, they're both dead. He removes the cloth from her mouth. Manny treats the wound on her arm. The girl is confused. He's helping her, yet he's also keeping her tied up, as if he kidnapped her. He tells her that if it were up to him, he wouldn't tie her at all, but his mom hates people. She's terrified of them. As he's talking, his mother calls him and orders him to come home immediately. He panics. Within seconds, he ties the girl back up and rushes out, leaving her alone. Meanwhile, Danielle sits beside Denise, who is still unconscious. She's breaking down emotionally, begging her daughter to wake up. She's terrified of losing her. Manny takes advantage of Danielle being busy with Denise. He sneaks out of the house and returns to the tied-up girl. She starts arguing with him, demanding to know how he is helping her while keeping her tied like a hostage. Manny realizes she's right. He tied her up even though he could have simply let her go. He feels guilty, like everything he did from the start was wrong. So he unties her and apologizes sincerely. He explains he's never dealt with strangers before. He doesn't know how to act or what the right thing is. As they talk, he realizes she is the same girl he saw earlier by the river. She's surprised too, because she also saw him that day. They start talking for a long time, and they genuinely start liking each other. Suddenly, Danielle barges in. She freezes when she sees a strange girl on her farm. Without thinking, she grabs the girl by her hair and drags her outside. Her husband helps her. Manny tries to stop his mother, but she pushes him away and locks him inside the barn, yelling that she will deal with him later. She storms off with her husband, who is practically dragging the girl across the ground. Manny breaks down, crying and begging his mother not to hurt her. But Danielle is furious. The only thing controlling her is terror of other humans. She looks at the girl and warns her that her son is not stupid and she cannot manipulate him. She informs the girl that she will ask a few questions. If she answers honestly, she lives. But if she lies, Danielle vows to take her life with her own hands. She asks where she's from and why she came. The girl tells her, "My name is Dawn. I'm a nurse. I'm part of a government program to help farmers." She claims she was supposed to come here with her team, but they were attacked, so she walked here looking for help. Danielle doesn't believe a word of it. She points the gun at her again, warning her, "One more lie, and you're done." Terrified, Dawn tells the truth. She says a gang kidnapped her aunt. Danielle is shocked because Dawn's aunt is actually Danielle's old friend. Danielle's heart softens. She immediately decides she won't abandon her friend. She grabs her gear and heads out with Mani to the location Dawn described. Her husband senses something is wrong, so after a moment, he follows them. Danielle arrives at the place Dawn mentioned, and the moment she steps inside, she feels something is terribly off. There's blood everywhere, a corpse inside a barrel, a disturbing, silent atmosphere. She realizes this is a trap. At that moment, Dawn confesses everything to Mani. She had no choice. The farm raiders forced her to do this. They made her pretend to need help so they could lure his family out and take their farm. If she refused, they would kill her siblings. Mani is shocked, heartbroken. He trusted her, and she led his mother into danger. He is frozen, unable to react. One of the raiders attacks Danielle. She fights with incredible skill, but his strength is overwhelming. He overpowers her, chokes her until she blacks out, and ties her up. Meanwhile, her husband, who returned to guard the farm, is ambushed. He's knocked unconscious, allowing the raiders to storm the farm with no resistance. Inside the house, Rain and her little sister are watching the security cameras. Rain panics when she sees the raiders approaching. She grabs a weapon and heads out to help her father, warning her sister not to follow. Back to Danielle. She wakes up tied next to a mutilated corpse. Parts of the body are missing. She immediately realizes these aren't ordinary raiders. They're cannibals. Then she notices her old friend tied beside her. They talk, and the friend explains the whole story. Everything Dawn did was under threat. Danielle promises, "I'll get us out of here." A cannibal walks in. He smirks and tells her he has been watching her. He compliments her for building a strong farm and protecting her family. He arrogantly states, "You and we're the same." Danielle spits in his face. "We are nothing alike." He wipes his face calmly and replies, "When the others come back, they'll be hungry, and you will be dinner." Then, to break her spirit, he slaughters her friend right in front of her. Danielle is devastated, but she hides her emotions. She silently vows to kill them all. Another raider comes in to tie her again. She pretends to be unconscious to trick him. When he gets close, she snaps into action. Even tied up, she wraps her legs around his neck and chokes him to death like a trained assassin. She grabs his rifle. The cannibal leader walks in and freezes when he sees her pointing the gun at him. He says that if she kills him, the others will finish her. She answers, "Whether I kill you or not, they'll come for me. So I'd rather start with you." She shoots him dead, then unties herself and gets ready for the real battle. At that moment, Mani enters. Danielle explodes at him. "Are you happy now? All of this because you trusted a stranger." He replies, "No time for lectures. We need to move." Back at the farm, her husband wakes up and kills every raider who entered their land. Dawn breaks down when she realizes her aunt is dead, and Danielle comforts her. She decides to take Dawn and her siblings in. They're family now. Meanwhile, Rain is relieved when Denise finally wakes up, but their father suddenly collapses, badly injured from the earlier fight. Then 2 more raiders break into the house. Rain is terrified. They point guns at her and Denise. Denise pretends to still be unconscious to distract them while their father hides, waiting for the right moment. One of the raiders discovers the massive weapons stash the family had hidden. As he calls for his partner, Danielle's husband jumps out and kills him instantly. The remaining raider panics, grabs Rain as a hostage, but Denise suddenly stabs him from behind. He turns to attack her, but Rain puts a bullet right between his eyes. The threat is finally over. Later, Money returns with Danielle, Dawn, and Dawn's rescued siblings. Rain is angry when she sees Dawn. She blames her for everything, but Danielle ignores her and focuses on treating her husband's injury. The next day, the family gathers at the table, now bigger with Dawn and her siblings. Danielle sits at the head of the table, proud that her family survived everything thrown at them. She decides to officially welcome Dawn and her siblings into the family. She will train them in combat and weapons so they can defend themselves. And that's where the movie ends. A family that refuses to die, no matter how brutal the world becomes.